Hi, are you planning on doing the Cambridge C1 Advanced or the CAE exam? Have you ever thought about the ways that you can use grammar to really impress the examiners in your speaking and writing papers? Well, today we're going to talk about how to use comparatives and superlatives to really impress the examiner in your speaking tasks and in your writings. Hi everyone, I'm Kira from With Flying Colours. We offer C1 Advanced Speaking and Writing courses and a writing correction service. You can get all the information about our products from the link below. Okay, so you probably know how to make simple comparisons and superlatives. We can see some examples on the screen. In my opinion, learning how to cook is more useful than learning how to ski. So we've got a comparison here. The Book Thief is the best book I've ever read. So here we have a superlative. And here we have another kind of comparative, an as plus adjective plus as comparative. Spending time with friends is as important as spending time with family. But how can you make them more advanced? Well, the magic word is modifiers. Let's take a look at some modifiers that you can use with comparisons first. So we've got our original sentence here on the left. And here we can add, you can see in purple, a great deal. So in my opinion, learning how to cook is a great deal more useful than learning how to ski. Or we can add significantly. In my opinion, learning how to cook is significantly more useful than learning how to ski. And you can very quickly see how this is much more impressive. So what about superlatives? What modifiers can we use with superlatives? Pause the video for a moment, look at the sentence and think about some modifiers that you think could be used here. The Book Thief is by far the best book I've ever read. Or The Book Thief is easily the best book I've ever read. What about the comparative form as plus adjective plus as? Do you know any modifiers that are suitable for use with this? Spending time with friends is just as important as spending time with family. Spending time with friends is almost as important as spending time with family. So why should we use these modifiers on comparatives and superlatives in speaking and writing tasks? Well, they add emphasis to your idea. They help you to express ideas more precisely. They show a more advanced level of English, and they make your writing and speaking far more impressive. And now let's think about where exactly they could be useful in the Cambridge C1 Advanced exam or the CAE exam in the speaking and writing tasks. In the speaking paper in part 2, where you have to answer a short question about your partner's photos, you often have to make a choice. So using comparatives and superlatives can be really, really useful there. Also in the speaking paper in part 3, where you have to talk with your partner, you have to make a decision. So they can be also useful here. And then in the writing paper, in the essay question, and especially in the introductions, comparatives and superlatives are really useful. And finally, in the writing paper, where you have to write a review, they can also be really useful. Today we're going to talk about the first one and the last one. If you're interested in seeing a full article on this topic, you can click on the link below and you can get information about the other two parts as well. So let's go to the speaking paper first. And here on the right hand side, you can see a task taken from our C1 Advanced Speaking course. And on the left hand side, you can see the short question for this task. Who do you think will be most relaxed after doing these activities? I advise you to pause the video now and think about how you would answer this question and how you would use comparatives and superlatives in your answer. Now I'm going to play a sample answer to this question. Note down any comparatives and superlatives that you hear while you're listening. As far as I know, doing active exercise actually does relax you, but probably not directly afterwards, maybe a while later. I'd say that the other two activities, fishing and yoga, are probably far more relaxing. It's hard to say who will feel the most chilled out afterwards, but I suppose that the breathing exercises encouraged in yoga are likely to leave these participants significantly more relaxed than the guy who was fishing. So, did you notice the use of any comparatives and superlatives? Well, let's take a look. The speaker said far more relaxing, the most chilled out, and significantly more relaxed than. So you can see how using comparatives and superlatives can really be useful in this part of the speaking paper. They display an advanced level of English and they help you to express your ideas really clearly. So let's move on to reviews. And in a review, you often have to show how a product or a service that you're writing about is better or worse than other similar products. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see a sample task taken from our C1 Advanced Writing course. And you can see that the task requires you to say which of the two you would recommend. So this could be a great place to use comparatives. Let's see some examples. The Language Corner website is without a doubt infinitely better than its competitors. Of the two TV series mentioned, Raised by Wolves is a great deal more interesting. And the new Bryson 5000 hairdryer is simply not nearly as effective as it should be for the price. Therefore, I wouldn't recommend buying it. So to see the full article about using comparatives and superlatives in your writing and speaking, you can visit our website. The link is below, and you can also here get information about our C1 Advanced Speaking and Writing courses and our writing correction service. Thank you for watching. Bye.